Okay, so we proceed with the clarification process. Okay, so once you actually going to do note about the commercial bank's rules, function, I'm sure you faham what is actually the rules of the commercial bank. What is actually the balance sheet that commercial bank have. Setiap bank there is actually balance sheet. Okay, ada bahagian asset, ada bahagian liability. Okey, bermakna apa? Ada perkara yang dia boleh simpan sebagai harta, ada yang dia orang kata sebagai dia punya tanggungan dia. Okay, as a liability. Right, so credit creation process, what is this actually? Credit creation is the process where a small given deposit will lead to a greater increase in the money supply of the economy. Alright, maksudnya apa? Dengan sejumlah kecil duit, alright, bank ataupun proses ni, this credit creation process ni boleh menyebabkan sejumlah duit tadi tu boleh berkembang biak. Can be developed, can be increased to the certain point. Right, this is what we call the credit creation process. So this process only occur in the commercial bank, not in the central bank. Kenapa? Balik to the objective. What's the objective of the central bank? Central bank objective is not chasing for the profit, but commercial bank, yes. Okay, commercial bank really chase for the profit. Sebab this credit creation process just occur at the commercial bank. Okay, so kalau nak fikirkan logiknya lah, okay, setiap bank tu, pernah tak you tengok mana-mana orang kata lot tanah tepi jalan, this is actually orang kata dia letak signboard kat situ, sometimes nama bank ataupun nama developer ataupun nama individu. It depends to the owner of the land. Okay, sometimes dia akan reveal which is the properties that's actually owned by the bank, blah blah blah. Maksudnya apa? Tanah tu kalau ada signage macam tu, maksudnya tanah tu siapa punya?
Bank punya.
Yes. Mean that apa? Bank juga ada harta. Dia juga ada harta dia. Macam juga we are individuals. Okay, commercial bank will also have the asset. Okay, logically and reality macam tu. Cumanya when we want to discuss this credit creation process ni, there is actually assumption. Maknanya ada benda yang kita nak discuss benda macam ni, kita simplifykan dia, permudahkan dia. Kalau kita fikir, kan sepatutnya bank ada ni, kan bank sepatutnya ada ni, susah nanti you nak faham the process. So that's why to discuss this credit creation process ni, we have the assumption. Okay, so what's the assumption? First, cash ratio is fixed by the central bank sampai at 10%. Ini bukan lagi yang kata this is actually my real thing happen. Remember just now I told you central bank ni dia akan determine berapa cash ratio for each commercial bank can hold. Alright, central bank akan beritahu, okay, commercial bank you hanya boleh simpan 20% saja, ataupun tiba-tiba you hanya boleh simpan 50% only. Bezanya kalau commercial bank boleh simpan 50%, bermakna apa? Commercial bank ada banyak duit ke tidak? Berbanding dengan 20% je dia boleh simpan. Banyak kan? So bila ada duit banyak, dia boleh buat macam-macam aktiviti. Nampak tak bagaimana central bank boleh control commercial bank ni? Bagaimana central bank control commercial bank daripada terlalu mengejar keuntungan? Perlu. Sebab apa? Because especially in the inflation, during unemployment, commercial bank ni dia tak kira, sebab itu bukan dia punya objektif. Objektif dia mengejar keuntungan. Dia bukan central bank untuk fikir about the monetary policy, about the consequence to the welfare of the netizen. Tidak. Right, but commercial bank just think about the profit only. Okay, kalau tidak dikawal, so dia hanya akan menindas mereka-mereka lah yang tak sepatutnya ditindas. Okay, so apa assumption to explain this process? First, cash ratio is fixed by the central bank at 10%, and then contoh kat sini 10%, not necessarily must be 10%. It depends on the question. If the question say assumption to be like 30%, so 30% lah. Ini contoh but here assumption is the cash ratio is fixed by the central bank. Central bank je yang fix, okay, not the commercial bank. Okay, and then there are many banks in the banking system, and each customer deposit money in the different bank. Logik ke tak logik benda lah ni? Kalau fikir ayat ni, there are many banks in the banking system. Okay, ni logik. And each customer deposit money in different bank. Maknanya setiap orang dia tidak akan simpan di bank yang sama. Possible tak? Logik tak? Kalau 1,000, kalaulah kita ada, tak payahlah nak cakap 32 juta population. Let's say kita ada 1,000 only. Kalau 1,000 orang, bermakna 1,000 orang kena deposit duit, dan boleh deposit their money to the bank but different bank. Logik tak? Ayo, logik ke tidak? Kalau 1,000 orang kena ada berapa bank?
1,000 bank lah kalau lain.
Ya, kita semula. Itu dia punya assumption. Memanglah tak logik. Tetapi ini untuk memudahkan explanations of this credit creation process. Nak beritahu you all bagaimana duit itu dijanakan oleh proses ni. Orang kata proses penciptaan, creation is actually penciptaan kan, penciptaan duit. Bagaimana duit ni tercipta. Alamak. Kejap. I think I got emergency call. I kena entertain this call. Kejap. Okay, sorry. It's a call from my son. Have to take. Kalau tidak nanti kan saya tak tahu what's the problem at home. Right, so kita continue. Okay, so that's the first assumption. Okay, second assumption. And the third, banks only have two types of the asset. Asset ada dua jenis saja assumption dia. Apa dia? Cash and loans. But actually in the reality, remember just now I give you example, kalau tanah tu actually signage bank something kan, bermakna apa? Bank also ada tanah I mean as a harta. Ada harta dalam bentuk tanah, ada harta dalam bentuk kereta, ada harta dalam bentuk rumah, especially rumah lelong. Itu in the reality. But in this process, we assume, kita assume, which is not saya assume, this topic assume, nak senang for this topic, which is banks only have two types of asset. Dia ada dua jenis harta je, which is cash and loan. Cash is actually apa? Tunai yang netizen ataupun we are the consumer, we are the client, deposit our money to the bank. That's actually the cash. Itulah harta kepada bank. Okay, plus the loan. Loan yang kita buat daripada bank. Of course, kita buat loan dengan bank, kita kena bayar kan. So, to bank, it's actually their asset. They have two types of the asset only, which is cash and the loans. Okay, kena faham ini punya assumption ya. And then, commercial banks do not keep excess cash reserve. Alright, do not keep, maknanya apa? Dia tidak simpan lebihan daripada simpanan. All excess reserve are loaned out. Okey, contoh. Contoh katakan saya deposit money kepada bank A sebanyak RM1,000. Saya deposit my money RM1,000. Tetapi bank tu because of the 10%, 10% daripada RM1,000 berapa? 10% daripada RM1,000 bersamaan dengan cepat, RM10 ke RM100? 10% from the 1,000. Berapa? Ayo all, RM10 ke RM100?
100.
So, katakan saya deposit duit saya kepada bank A sebanyak RM1,000, tetapi ini rules dia, assumption dia apa? Cash ratio is fixed by the central bank at the 10%. Maknanya, this commercial bank hanya boleh simpan sebanyak 10% daripada deposit yang saya bagi tu. Right? So, selebihnya, kalau 10% bersama dengan RM100, dia boleh simpan RM100 sahaja pada bank. So, selebihnya ada berapa lagi baki? Daripada 1,000 tu, tolak 100 tinggal?
900.
Yes, tinggal 900. But 900 ni bank tak boleh simpan. Sebab assumptionnya, do not keep excess cash reserve. Dia tidak boleh simpan. Dia kena loan out. That means dia kena beri pinjam kepada individu yang lain. Alright? Dia hanya boleh simpan 10% saja. Itu dimasukkan dengan here. And the commercial bank do not keep excess cash reserve. Assumption ni sangat relate, very relate with the process of the education, and if you not understand, it's quite difficult for you to understand the whole process, especially the formula, and why we have to calculate by using this formula. And sebab all the formula actually are relate or refer to the process itself, kepada proses education tu berlaku. Alright, so okay, ini 1, 2, 3, 4 ni faham tak assumption dia? Okay tak okay? Kat mana tak faham? Cepat. Antara 4 ni okey tak? 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you understand all these assumption?
Faham,
Okey,
madam.
Kak Madam.
Boleh? Okay. And then, all transaction are made by checks. Ini logik ke tidak? Logik ke tidak in reality?
Tidak.
Takkanlah saya pergi kedai runcit guna cek. Saya pergi kedai runcit dekat tempat taman saya, takkan saya guna cek. Memang kena gelak je lah kan. Ataupun orang kata nak show off kot, ya pun sedar-sedar lah sikit kan. But to simplify the process. So here we assume that all transactions are made by the check. Which is of course in reality tidak lah kan. And then apa lagi, the public must keep their money in the banks and all deposit are only kept in the forms of the current account by using only check. Is it possible? The public must keep their money in the bank. Adakah semua orang akan simpan duit di bank?
Tidak.
Tak logik, tapi kita just assume this way to simplify the process. Sebab to actually explain this process clarification is quite difficult. Jadi nak mudahkan kita kena assume macam ni supaya nampak prosesnya lebih mudah. Okay, and then leakage do not exist and there are no withdrawal from the banking system. Aduh, kita simpan duit, of course lah, simpan actually for a temporary, especially for the objective for investment. We have the target maybe after 5 years ke 10 years ke kan, and then baru kita withdraw. But biasanya setiap bulan, especially if orang kata the salary is actually bank to the bank, so of course you akan pergi bank to withdraw. So mana tak boleh ada withdrawal. Kan? But this is the assumption. Maknanya all the individual just keep and keep. Tak withdraw langsung. Itu pun kelakar jugalah. Tapi actually just to simplify the process. And then banks have only one liability. Dia cuma ada satu liability. That is in the forms of the deposit. Our deposit that we bank, or deposit to the bank, that's actually the liability to the bank. Of course the liability. Apa tu liability? Tanggungan kan? Alright, deposit tu adalah tanggungan ataupun bebanan kepada commercial bank, sebab commercial bank kena make sure this deposit is still there. Kena ada. Alright, who knows, tiba-tiba suddenly customer tu, open client tu, just after 2 days dia nak keluarkan. So katakan kalau saya lah, saya deposit, contohlah saya deposit 500,000. Tiba-tiba dalam 3 hari, lepas 3 hari saya ubah fikiran. Saya nak tukar bank lah. So saya nak withdraw semua, saya nak cancel account saya pada bank ni. Boleh tak saya buat macam tu?
Boleh.
Okey, tetapi bila saya nak keluarkan tu, boleh tak bank bagi alasan pada saya, kami tak boleh cancelkan akaun awak, kami tak boleh bagi duit you sepenuhnya sebab kami tak cukup duit.
Boleh.
Boleh
boleh.
tak bank bagi alasan macam tu?
Tak boleh.
Tak boleh. If the bank give that statement, so this is what we call the phenomenon apa? Itu adalah satu kejadian apa? Running out of the bank ataupun run out of the bank. Bank kalau dia menghadapi situasi macam tu, seriously dia kena tutup bank. Dia tak boleh run. Bank adalah satu tempat di mana anytime, anywhere, bila kita masukkan duit dan kita nak withdraw, is actually up to us. Okay, it's up to us. Bila-bila boleh je bank, and the bank must be allowed. So dia kena make sure lah, whatever the money that the bank have in the bank, dia kena make sure, you kena faham, hari-hari berapa orang individu, berapa orang klien ni akan pergi ke bank on variety of the purpose. Ada yang nak simpan, ada yang nak keluar. Kan? Simpan keluar, duit keluar masuk. But how the bank actually manage it? So dia kena pandai manage lah. Tak boleh bagi alasan which is, we don't have enough money. Kalau alasan tu is confirm that bank actually fail as a bank. Kalau dia bagi alasan, katakan biasalah kita bila nak raya, kita nak ada duit kertas baru kan. Kalau alasannya, kami tak ada stok duit kertas baru tapi yang lama ada, itu tak apalah, itu kita faham, because stok baru ni biasanya actually from the central bank akan control. It's not easy to get the new stock, especially during the festive season. Itu kita faham dan itu adalah klise. But kalau bank kata, we actually don't have the money, not enough money to refund to you, tak boleh. That's very big failure for the bank. Okay, so this is actually the assumption. Okay, this is the process of rectification. Okay. So prosesnya, contoh, this is bank A balance sheet. Okay, balance sheet ni faham kan? Kira-kira there's an asset, there's liability. Let's see, under liabilities, deposit. Deposit ni is actually the money that the client ataupun we are like as an individual, we deposit to the bank. Okay, and under asset, remember just now assumption ada dua je. Okay, commercial bank only have two types of the asset, which is the cash and the loan. Remember, which is for this case, untuk contoh ni, dia bagi apa? Only 10%, which is cash ratio yang dibenarkan oleh central bank for the commercial bank to keep. Alright. So what happened? What happened in this bank A? Katakan ada bank A, katakan individu A lah. Individu A ni deposit sebanyak USD 1,000. Okay, so from this client ni, from this 1,000, this bank A ni will took just about 10% the cash ratio. So 10% which is about 100 ringgit. So balance daripada 1,000 is actually 900. So kalau dalam this balance sheet, of course total ni kena sama kan, must be same. But under asset, cash is actually will be remained by the commercial bank. But the rest which is 900 balance after the bank took 10%, dia akan loan out. Ingat tak loan out, which is dalam assumption tu apa? Do not keep excess reserve, tidak boleh simpan lebihan. Okay, so the banks will loan out, dia akan bagi pinjam 900 ni to other client. Katakan client B. The client B pun pinjam, dia dapat duit 900 ni, alright, dia buat apa? Ingat assumption, tidak boleh simpan di tempat lain kecuali bank. So this individual B simpanlah dekat bank B. Dia simpan sebanyak 900. And because why? Dia dapat loan daripada bank A. So ingat, dia tak boleh simpan di bank yang sama, dia kena simpan di bank yang lain. So simpan dekat bank B. So under bank B, from the 900 that this individual B deposit, okay, so the bank B also will took 10% as actually the rules and the regulation from the central bank. So 10% from the 900 will be 90 ringgit, and the rest 810 ringgit will be loaned out to the other individual. Let's say the individual C. So the process will continue, akan sambung sampai bila? Okay, sehingga asalnya 1000 ni, sehingga asalnya 1000 ni, 1000 of this money ni, okay, duit yang asalnya 1000 ni have to be keep ataupun will be keep, akan disimpan lah, akan disimpan. It's not simpan, it's actually generate. And from this initial 1000 ni, asalnya 1000 deposit ni, at the end sehingga akhirnya, okay, sampai akhirnya berapa duit 1000 ni boleh tambah lagi duit sebanyak mana. This is what we call as a credit creation. Credit creation kira-kira lah, adalah formula lah. Okay, so maknanya this table ni is actually not stop here. Dia tak stop sampai sini. Dia akan stop sampai bila? Akan stop sehingga amount tu bila kita kira is actually equal to the total credit creation by this initial 1000 deposit. Okay, mana nak tahu? Inilah dia. Cash ratio ataupun cash reserve ratio is actually sama. Okay, this are the formula which is cash reserve divide with the initial deposit times 100. Itu ratio. Alright. So kalau dalam soalan minta cari ratio, so you have to use this formula. But normally in the question, soalan dia dah bagi pun. Okay, but assume that actually bank decide to have the 10% ratio just now macam tadi, 10% ratio. So itu 10% lah, tak payah nak kira lagi dah. Unless kalau dia tak bagi, dan disuruh kira, so kena kira guna formula ni, okay, to find the ratio. And then this is the other formula of the money multiplier ataupun orang kata pengganda duit lah, which is 1 over the cash reserve ratio. Okay, total money supply that mean plus with the deposit lah, which is the cash reserve ratio ni, which is the money multiplier ni times with the initial deposit. So mana dapat money multiplier ni? This are the formula. Okay, so these are the total money supply formula. Maknanya keseluruhan duit, jumlah penawaran. Tadi RM1,000 kan? Katakan dengan RM1,000 tu at the end boleh hasilkan sebanyak lagi RM5,000. In total RM5,000. So daripada 1,000 jadi 5,000. 5,000 tu bermakna apa? Itulah jumlah duit penawaran yang dapat di-generate ataupun dapat di-supply by this initial deposit. Okay, so that's the total money supply. Total reserve is actually money multiplier time with the initial reserve lah. Ini reserve by the central bank. Total credit creation, ini yang saya mention tadi. Daripada tadi 810 kan, till when, sampai mana. You nak tahu angka dia, you kena kira this total credit creation. Okay, which is the money multiplier time with the initial loan. Ataupun to get the credit creation ni, right, the amount of money created ni equal to the money supply minus with the initial deposit. Money supply ni you kena kira total money supply first. Ada dua cara, but paling cepat this one lah, total allocation. Just times the money multiplied times with the initial loan. Loan yang just now tadi under asset, remember? Under asset dia ada cash dengan loan kan. So you kena darab dengan jumlah ni, baru you dapat allocation. So that's a straight way. Okay, lagi satu ni which is you kena buat dua jalan kerja. First you have to find the total money supply, and after that once you get the total money supply, contoh saya mention tadi 5,000 kan, katakan daripada RM1,000 boleh pergi kepada RM5,000 total money supply. That's the total money supply actually include with the deposit. So kalau nak tahu the credit created yang berjaya dicipta, right, kenalah tolak dengan deposit. Sebab deposit tu tak termasuk dengan duit yang diciptakan. Duit yang dihasilkan, dia adalah permula sahaja. Okay, so that's why money supply minus with the initial deposit. Then you will get the total amount money created. or in other words, the total credit creation. Okay, so formula yang saya terangkan ni faham tak? Kalau tak nampak lagi tak apa, tapi at least like macam boleh grab. At least you can get the picture. Because why? For the credit creation ni, dia balik-balik the same formula. Dia takkan bagi formula yang lain. Okay, soalan dia akan mati di sini aja. Mati maksud saya mati di among with this question only. You just have to understand what's actually the case given to you, and then you can analyze and which formula have to use. That's only. As simple as that, insyaAllah. Tapi syarat kena faham lah. Kena faham lah apa dia cash, how to actually calculate, how to get the ratio, apa maksudnya, kenapa, siapa yang determine ni. If you tak understand what's actually the behind the story, lagi mudah you faham. Okay, never mind, tak nampak tak apa lagi. Now we proceed. And nanti buat soalan nanti baru nampak kan. Okay, these are the limitations of the credit creation process. It's just not assumption. Okay, assumption, but that is also the limitation. Limitation is actually all the thing that will retarded, akan membantutkan proses credit creation ni. Dia akan menyebabkan proses ni tidak menjadi. Patutnya proses ni akan dapat menghasilkan duit, tak jadi hasil duit. Okay, so what's the limitation? Amount of cash. Of course, this process will depend a lot to the amount of cash. That's mean lagi banyak cash, and the higher the amount of cash, of course, the higher the amount of credit that we can create. Okay, lagi banyak kita berhasilkan. Kalau sikit-sikit lah. Alright. And then cash reserve ratio ataupun legal reserve requirement. Apa maksudnya? Lagi rendah atau lagi tinggi yang boleh menciptakan lagi banyak duit. Kalau this reserve ratio ni tinggi, alright, so credit creation ni how? What happen? Slow ke ataupun makin rancak? Cepat saya tanya soalan ni. Kalau boleh jawab soalan ni, maknanya faham lah tu. Kalau cash, the cash reserve ratio ni tinggi, boleh tak commercial bank, boleh tak commercial bank, create the money more? Boleh ke tidak? Boleh ke tidak? Cepatlah you all. Saya terang banyak tadi. Jika okay, the ratio ni, the cash reserve ratio ni tinggi, boleh tak commercial bank create the money? Ingat, siapa yang tetapkan cash reserve ratio ni? Central bank. Tak respon. Masya Allah. Cepat you all. Kalau cash ratio ni tinggi, so boleh tak commercial bank ni create more money?
Boleh kot.
Mana boleh? Kalau tinggi, bagaimana dia nak cipta lagi duit? Imagine that 10% dengan 50%. Okay? Daripada RM1,000 tadi, commercial bank kena simpan 10%. Kalau dia kena simpan 50%, berapa je loan yang dia boleh bagi? Kalau 50% daripada RM1,000, berapa? 500, betul tak? Bermakna dia kena simpan 500 dalam bank. Dan lagi 500 baru boleh loan out. But kalau compare dengan 10%, RM900 boleh loan out. So it shows that lagi tinggi ratio, lagi sikit duit boleh diciptakan. So this will retarded the process of the credit creation. Okay. And then banking habits of the people. Yelah, tak semua orang simpan duit dalam bank. Kan? But the process actually need the money from the people, from the us and from the client. Kalau semua orang tak nak simpan duit dekat bank, then bagaimana bank nak buat transaction? How the bank will do all this process? This is the banking habit of the people lah. So that's why it's supposed to be everybody keep the money in the bank. Okay. Supply of the collateral security. You're right. So if you want to do loan, you want to apply loan, you dapat loan. Yang mana you akan pilih? Bank yang akan kata, okay, you boleh ambil loan tanpa perlu pajak apa-apa. Kalau bank ni pula, you boleh buat loan dengan kami tetapi you kena letakkan you punya geran rumah, geran kereta you dan segala geran you ada. You mana you nak? Which bank? Bank yang ada banyak syarat ataupun bank yang kurang syarat?
Kurang syarat.
Of course lah kan. Oh, saya hanya perlukan slip gaji saja. Tidak pun cukup photostat depan muka buku account bank. Cover buku account pun dah cukup dah. Wow. Kalau lah macam tu, siapa je yang tak nak pinjam duit daripada bank? Kan? But this is actually the supply of the collateral security. If the banks actually very strict to give the loan, so the process also will be will be slow. Okay, and the credit will not be created in a lot. Sebab apa? Siapa nak buat pinjam? Nak buat pinjam sebab banyak sangat syarat. Okay, so proses ini juga akan slow lah. This is what we call the limitation. Okay, and then the availability of the borrower. Duit ada pada bank untuk dia boleh pinjam, but there's no borrower, pun useless. Tak guna juga kan, sebab tak ada orang untuk dia boleh pinjam. Okay, the availability of the borrower. And the excess reserve. Lebihan reserve tu. Kena apa? Kena loan out, tak boleh simpan. Kalau simpan aja, dia tak berjalan. Okay, the money will stop there. Okay, will not create another opportunity of money. So cannot be keep, have to be run for the excess reserve. Tapi kalau lagi banyak excess reserve ni, that means the functions will be limited. Okay, currency drain which is apa? Duit berkurangan di pasaran. It can be. Duit kena faham in terms of the nilai kalau mana inflasi. Okay, kalau inflation, the real value of the money will be decreased. So, katakan duit RM10, nilai sebenar will be RM5. That's why we've got the currency drain. And maybe for the certain reason, central bank will stop to print the money. Which can be. So this is what we call the currency drain. And another word is which is the value of our currency itself. Contoh macam sekarang ni. Masya Allah, kalau nak buat apa pun, even though you nak beli apa-apa pun kan yang daripada overseas. Contoh kalau saya subscribe banyak software yang which is dalam US dollar. Walaupun dalam bulanan ni bila tengok dia punya US dollar tu, alah RM4 aja. Tetapi RM4.99 US dollar tu kalau convert duit kita dah jadi berapa? Kan dah berapa? Itu dalam US dollar. So that's to me, orang kata sakit lah, sebab because of the currency. Our currency kan, Malaysia's currency is quite low now kan. So this is what called the currency trade. Okay, so this is will limit also the personal education. And then business condition itself is not good. Okay, nobody will want to borrow the money, right? Why? Because apa? Tak ada orang pun nak berjual beli, tak ada orang pun nak beri, nak membeli sangat, because everybody will be there very so cautious kan, jaga. Okay, business condition will affect also. Okay, and then central bank monetary control, just now buatnya central bank dia bagi lagi ada regulation. Oh, commercial bank cannot do this, cannot do that, you kena buat ni, you tak boleh buat credit card, you tak boleh buat ni, semua tak boleh. So then how the commercial bank will actually kata to fulfill the objective to earn the profit, and especially not just earn, to chasing the profit, right? So these are the things that will actually menyebabkan credit question process tidak menjadi yang retarded. Retarded ni pun membantutkan proses credit question. Okay, remember, so credit question ni apa menarik topik ni, dia boleh cover calculation, dia boleh cover juga bahagian AC. Right, AC tak lari tak bukan, memang dia akan tanya explain the assumption, explain the limitation, and explain the process of the calculation. How this process occur. That's when you kena bagilah contoh table yang macam ni, you kena bagi contoh macam you have to explain. Right, and of course dalam calculation you have to apply all this formula. Okay, so that's about the education. And the last topic of the Islamic banking product. So of course, sebut the Islamic banking product, this is actually have to comply with the Sharia kan, to achieve goal objective for the Islamic economy, for the Islamic banking. So for us, for Malaysia, our first bank Islam ni established in the 1983. Lama juga kan. Okay, after that kita ada another bank which is Bank Muamalat. Okay, so far two bank, and the other bank which is an example like Islamic Affin ke apa ke, Islamic CMB ke, that's actually not the purely Islamic bank, but that what we call the windows of the Islamic bank. Bermakna public bank pun ada yang offer windows of Islamic bank, tapi dia itself is actually conventional, but that also offer kata the products of for the Islamic banking. Okay, itu kita panggil windows. Alright, and one more thing which is the last topic in the chapter 4 ni, Islamic banking product. Islamic banking product ni apa dia? Of course, there is actually like the saving, the guarantee and so on. Tetapi normally in the Arab in the Arab terms, apa dia? Al-wadiyah ataupun the custody and the guarantee. So this actually wadah is a trust. Okay, so al-wadah mean good or deposit which have been deposit with another person of bank. Ini actually simpanan lah. Normally kita simpan dekat bank, kita just duit simpanan, apa account simpanan. But in Islam we call it actually account simpanan juga, tetapi di bawah prinsip al-wadiyah. Okay, di bawah this prinsip. And then other which is al-mudarabah, which is profit sharing. These are the contract made by between two parties, which is between the bank and between the clients lah normally, to finance a business venture, where investors solely provide the capital and bank as a entrepreneur who solely manage the project. Ini between bank dan juga kepada yang buat loan. Okay, but atas prinsip apa? Atas prinsip al-mudarabah, which is profit sharing. Okay, kenapa ada prinsip-prinsip macam ni dalam Islam? Remember, kita tidak menganiaya orang lain. Whatever the prinsip dalam Islam, tidak akan ada unsur-unsur penganiayaan. Sebab tu this is what actually the principle is actually we use ataupun implement in the Islam. Okay, ada produk which is al-bai' bitaman ajil, which is deferred payment sale. Ini normally are very popular among the credit card, which is kalau Islamic bank pun ada credit card, but use this principle. Okay, beli dulu bayar kemudian. Okay, ataupun deferred, bayaran tertangguh. Okay, al-bai' bitaman ajil. Satu lagi which is this is actually contract, benda yang sama, sorry. Tak perasan. Okay, benda yang sama. And one more thing is ijarah. Ijarah ni actually more kepada sewa lah. Tadi lebih kepada bayaran tangguh, ini pada sewa kan, sewa beli ataupun je sewa je. And leasing contract whereby a lessor or owner lease out an asset or equipment to his client and agree rental fees for a predetermined lease period. Ada yang disewakan dan adalah betul-betul term-terms dan bayaran dia. So all these product Islamic product ni normally kalau dalam soalan, of course this is not calculation, this is merely the conceptual. So you just have to understand and of course hafal apa maksudnya Arab, I mean the terms in Arab ni. Contoh al-bai' tamajil maksudnya apa, deferred payment sale. Al-wadiyah maksudnya apa, the custody and the guarantee. You kena hafal dua-dua ni, not just in the Arab saja, but you also have to explain what's actually the meaning in the English. Okay, so normally this is concept, you have to give the definition and what it's all about. Okay, alright, so this is Islamic banking product. So by this we end the chapter 4. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so far any question before we proceed to the question? Sebab soalan yang saya nak bantu awak hari ni, dari segi chapter 4. Okay, kita dah start dah nak buat tutorial kan, tutorial about the chapter 4. So untuk hari ni kita buat 2019. Okay, so make sure in front of you there is a December 2019 and also the June 2019. So next meeting kita akan continue with other past paper about this chapter 4 juga. Okay, are you ready? Ini kita sama-sama jawab because you just fresh finish the topic. Of course you can't do it alone kan. I will help you. But soalan kan ada depan mata.
Disember dengan Jun 2019 daripada.
Betul. December dan June 2019. Cantik sangat tahu ni. Sebab apa? For the December dia bagi you money supply. For the June dia akan bagi you credit creation. Just nice. So kalau ikut dia punya turn dia, agaknya tahun ni kena apa? Okay, dah ready? Sekejap ya. Okay, we look at the December 2019. Okay, for the December 2019, if you see the question number 3. Question number 3 is actually the question from the chapter 4. Daripada chapter 4 which is apa? Money supply. Inilah dia contoh soalan money supply. So once you get the question, one you see the question, you dah tahu okay, the paper money or confirm this actually chapter 4 money supply. What you should do? Pertama sekali you have to label the item one by one. Nak label macam mana? Remember kalau chapter 2 you kena label the approach, right? And of course you label other formula, example like PI lah apalah kan. Okay, but for this money supply ni, of course we just have M1, M2, M3. So itu sahaja yang you kena label. Okay, so kita pergi one by one. Paper money agak-agak apa? M apa? Paper money, M apa? 1, 2 or 3? Ingat balik apa dia M1, apa itu M2, apa itu M3? M1 very liquid, right? Very liquid. That means if you have this thing in your hand, you just can get whatever the good and service immediately without deferred ataupun tangguhkan the transaction. So maknanya apa? Cash lah. It's a cash in your hand. Okay. So paper money is actually M.
1.
Good. Okay. Saving account at the commercial bank.
3.
Apa bezanya MT? Actually broader definitions. Maknanya lagi susah nak tukarkan dia dalam bentuk cash. So but here commercial bank. Beza merchant bank ataupun financial institution. So this is M. Normally the place at the central bank and the commercial bank will be regarded as a M2. Okay, M2 bukannya M3. M3 like merchant bank. Apa lagi bank saudara tu kan? Financial institution. Okay. Apa lagi? Bank Islam, bank muamalat, itu M3. Remember I give you the handout? Check balik. Which bank are categorized under M3? Okay. So, paper money M1, saving and commercial bank M2. Bank Negara Malaysia certificate, bank negara M.
M3.
M2. Kenapa pula M3? M2 normally central bank and commercial bank. Central bank and commercial bank. Selain tu semua jatuh bawah M3. Kalau M2 je central bank and commercial bank. Ingat, commercial bank tu banyak jenis. Bukan commercial bank at general. So kalau macam ni just commercial bank je, tak apalah, have generals. Okay. So and we know Commercial bank M2. So here for this saving account, commercial bank is M2. Bank Negara Malaysia certificate will be M2 also sebab bank negara. Negotiable certificate. Ha. Negotiable certificate. Apa? Sijil yang boleh kita nego to convert to the cash. Alright. But here, dia tak mention pun kat mana, commercial bank ke, financial institution ke. So, for this case, you have to look at to the amount. And the amount is actually 1,770,000. Almost million lah. Okay. But, bila tengok jumlah ni, banyak. Okay. To convert is not easy also. Okay. But, kena tengok balik. Siapa yang keluarkan NCD ni? Siapa yang hanya boleh keluarkan NCD? Normally, central bank. So, who is the issuer, pengeluar? So, for this NCD ni, the negotiable certificate ni, or only central bank yang ada kata right to issue. So, this is M2. Okay, M2. Unless kalau dia kata negotiable certificate dekat financial institution or the merchant bank, itu M3. But normally yang keluarkan kalau macam ni kosongnya is M2. Current deposit at commercial bank, ini M apa? Current deposit. Current shows very, very liquid. So kalau very liquid, M?
1.
Good. Betul. Current deposit is actually M1. Walaupun tempatnya dia kata commercial bank. Commercial bank kan M2. Okay, betul. Commercial bank is M2. But to determine that all the item is actually M1, M2, M3, first is not the place. First, actually you have to consider the liquidity. Second, barulah place. Kalau you tengok, this is current deposit, very liquid. Bila very liquid tu, confirm, terus. Walaupun dia diletaknya dekat apa, merchant bank ke, bank sedaga ke, bank ke, walaupun diletaknya dekat situ, still this is very liquid, so this is actually M1. Okay, so current deposit M1. And then fixed and saving deposit at the commercial bank. Fixed and saving deposit at the commercial bank. M apa?
2.
Good. Fixed and saving deposit at other financial institution. Other.
3.
Good. M3. Dah nampak tak bezanya? Yang mana M1, mana M2, mana M3. Cumanya for me, soalan ni quite okay lah. Soalan yang baik hati. Kenapa? Sebab dia bagi banyak, dia bagi banyak general term. Contoh, semuanya dia bagi commercial bank and financial institution. And the item not mentioned was actually the specific name of the commercial bank or the specific names of the financial institution. Dia bagi general je. Alright, so kalau bagi general macam ni sebenarnya lagi selamat, lagi mudah to decide or to determine. But tiba-tiba kalau dia bagi satu nama, which is, dia orang kata, the paling the worst, you are not familiar with the name of the bank. You tak tahu, tak pernah dengar pernah bank ni. Bukan tak dengar, bank ni ada. Cumanya hanya orang kata beberapa golongan sajalah yang biasa deal. Maknanya tak berapa popular sangat contoh. But still is a bank. Okay, but you not familiar and you don't know. Alamak, kategori apa bank ni? Habis. Once you not familiar with the names of the bank, you don't know and you not sure, of course, how you going to determine whether this is actually M1, M2, M3? That will be the problem. That's why familiarize yourself with the name of the bank. Apa bank yang ada? Please update that knowledge. Okay. Okay. So settle of level of the item. Okay. Now we go to the question. Phrase A. Assuming the amount of the fiat money is 4,560. Okay. Calculate the amount of the coin. Dia dah bagi dah. Fiat money sama dengan 44560. Calculate the amount of the coin. Tengok balik formula, all the formula regarding the money supply. Fiat money is actually apa? Consists of the coin and paper money kan? And that is the formula. Fiat money sama dengan paper plus coin. Jadi, bila dia dah bagi, the amount of fiat money, jumlahnya sama dengan 4560. Jumlahnya adalah 4560. And fiat money ni terdiri daripada coin dengan paper. So, boleh tak you dapat amount of the coin?
Boleh.
Bagaimana?
Tolak paper money.
Tolak dengan paper kan. So jadi 4560 ke tolak dengan yang mana?
3, 2, 7, 5.
Pandai, bagusnya. Ya Allah, sejuk perut ibu yang mengandungkan awak. Sebab terus dan spontaneous je awak respon. Alhamdulillah. So, jawapannya berapa? Saya dah puji tinggi melangit, jawab dalam kira lah terus. Berapa?
1285.
Good. Nampak tak? Mudah aja kan? Mudah aja kalau kita faham konsep. Okay, good. Then, okay, the rest, how about the rest? Faham tak? How to get A? Macam mana nak dapatkan coin tu? Faham tak? Ada yang tak faham? Okay or not okay? You all kau tak beritahu, saya tak tahu diam tanda okay. Okay, so okay lah. Okay, we proceed to B. B. Calculate the amount of the money supply M1. Apa masalah? Kan dah kira dah tadi. Dah tahu dah label which item actually refer to the M1. So kira je lah. Berapa? Ada berapa M1 dekat sini? Cepat. Berapa agak-agak? I'm waiting.
59.5.
Hah?
Tambah M1 je kan?
Sayup kedengaran. Saya tak dengar.
Tambah M1 je kan madam?
M1 saja. Kan dia minta
59.5.
M1 saja. 59?
5.
595.
25.
5925. Salah.
M1 paper money
Ha?
dengan current deposit tu kan?
Ha? Tapi tengok pada soalan A.
Oh, kita tambah dengan coins juga Okay.
So?
7210.
Yes. Betul. Okay, always kena refer the question before because it's very related. Okay, so faham semua? B7210. Okay, how about C? Calculate the amount of the money supply M2. Ingat, what's the formula of the M2? M2 equal to the M1 plus dengan M2 punya item. So kalau M1 dah kira salah, M2 akan salah lah. Okay, so now M1 berapa tadi? 7210 kena tambah dengan M2. Berapa label item yang kita label M2 tadi? Ada berapa item? Tambahkan je lah dengan M2. So berapa? Cepat. Anybody? What's the answer?
Satu 3030.
Macam mana tu?
M2 tambah dengan 7210 tu kan?
M2 formulanya equal to the M1 plus M2.
7210
Plus dengan
2320 tambah 1850.
Okay.
1770.
Okay.
1650.
Oh,
1650 tu lupa. 14,500.
So
14,800.
800?
14.
800?
800.
800? Ya ke?
Ya.
Cik kira betul-betul?
14710.
Okay.
147110. Careful. Ini satu salah yang sangat merugikan. Sebab apa? Sebab you tahu formulanya, cumanya nak salah kat siapa Salah kalkulator ke? Kalkulator ke yang salah atau jari kita yang salah menekan? Fikir-fikirkan. Human factor tu so big kan. Rugi kalau lepaskan markah yang macam tu kan. Right. So, faham that's actually how to calculate the M2. Which is M1 plus dengan M2. M1 tadi berapa? 7210. Plus all that item that available with M2. Okay. Baru dapat 14710. And D, calculate the amount of the money supply M3. Sama je. Soalan kan kita sama. Balik-balik ke M1, M2, M3. So, for the M3, what's the formula? M3 equal to the M apa?
M2.
M2 plus dengan all the item under M3. So dah kira kan? Berapa?
Satu, 6,030.
Wah, ni memang macam operator dekat kaunter tu. Bunyi robot tu. Yes, betul. M3 equal to the M2 plus dengan all the item that we label as M3 just now. Okay, so that's the answer. As simple as that for this question. Tapi dia akan jadi kosong terus. Okay, biasanya from my experience, pelajar dia cikgu cakap dia dapat kosong lah. Dia dapat kosong kenapa? Sebab bila atas dah salah. Bila atas salah dia akan bawa sampai ke bawah. Memanglah at the end M3 akan betul sebenarnya figurnya kan, tetapi dari segi jalan kerja dah tak cantik. Sebab you kata you bring down the wrong method. The wrong answer. Okay, sebenarnya boleh je kurang markah kat situ tapi normally for the M3 bila kalau betul tu saya okeykan je. Okay, so can you see now the risk of this question? Kalau you salah label, you salah determine which is M1, which is M2, which is M3, habis. Okay, for this question, okay ke tidak? Faham tak macam mana nak buat next time? Saya guide yang ini bermakna next tutorial tu saya nak dengar lebih pada awak. So okay tak? Macam mana nak jawab next question for the money supply?
Okay Kak Madam.
Okay, madam.
Okay, so kita proceed dengan June 2019. Sebab macam mana pun you akan terserempak juga dengan soalan education ni. So alang-alang cantik je 2019 ni. Untuk first semester tu dia bagi money supply, and after that dia bagi education kan. Just nice. Cantik lah untuk tahun tu kan, dia bagi dua-dua. Right. So let's say kalau soalan education, inilah contoh soalan education. Kalau keluar apa dalam soalan, macam ni lah rupanya. Cumanya namanya berbeza lah. It depends to the case, right? And it depends also to the case. Orang kata what's the question want to give or provided to you. Dia nak bagi lagi susah ke ataupun just bagi yang biasa-biasa je. Okay. So look at to this question, June 2019. Okay, dah ada dah depan mata awak. June 2019. Ada ke tak ada? You dah print kan? I'm assume you dah print. Once we discuss, dia benda dah ada depan mata, boleh pegang. Bukan dalam kata online lagi bukan still in the soft copy. If you masih lagi maintain the soft copy, that is just not good. Okay, dah keluar dah. So the balance sheets of bank apa tu?
$10.
Hanya yang ada depan mata yang tengok je lah yang tahu kan nama bank. Okay, so nama-nama ni tak payahlah nak terkejut sangat. Memang akan guna nama yang takkan nama sebenar. Biasa for the exam kan, dia tak boleh guna nama sebenar lah. Alright, so balance sheet of the bank handle. So sebut je balance sheet of the commercial bank, there is actually liability part and there is a asset part. Okay, cuba tengok liability. There is deposit and then there is cash and loan under asset. So A, state the answer for the above balance sheet. Maknanya apa? Yang diletakkan kosong tu. So, di bawah liability, deposit tu berapa?
10. Okay.
Alah, senang sangat. Sebab dah sah totalnya 10 kan? Okay. So, di bawah asset, the loans will be?
9K.
Yes, 9,000. See? As simple as that. A, settle. I'm sure you faham. Okay, then B, calculate the cash reserve ratio. Kita tak tahu berapa tetapi dia nak minta kita calculate because we know here cash after we calculate the cash reserve ratio tu, the amount that we put there is actually 1,000, but actually how much the ratio, berapa banyak ratio dia. So nak guna formula yang mana ni? Here to calculate the ratio, the cash reserve ratio. So that will be okay, which is the cash reserve, berapa yang disimpan kat sini berapa, 1,000, and then divide with the initial deposit, berapa deposit dia, 10,000, and then time with the 100%. So berapa? Saya nak semua kira, sama-sama kira. Jangan dengar saja. Masing-masing gerak, pegang pen, pegang pensel, kira. Tulis dia punya formula. Selagi tak buat macam tu, you takkan feel. You takkan ada experience. Because bila kita dengar je, it's not 100% kita akan dapat. Kita dengar, kita buat. Lagi banyak, lagi tinggi dia punya percentage kefahaman tu. Okay. So, berapa?
10%.
10 apa?
Persen.
Okay. Remember, any formula that we times with the 100, okay, that means the answer must have the symbols of the percentage. Kena ada. That's a rule. Kalau 10 aja, kalau takkan dalam essay, you just put 10. I assume that's only the value is a 10, but not in the percentage. Itu bahaya. Okay, walaupun figurnya betul tetapi kesesuaian jawapan tidak betul. Why? Because there is absent of the percentage symbol. Okay, be careful So B 10%. I'm sure yang lain okay And then calculate the total credit created based on the cash ratio. How many method to calculate the credit created ni? Ada berapa method ni? Nampak tak? Ada O kat sini. So ada berapa cara?
2.
Ada 2 cara. Cara paling straightforward, kena guna yang mana? Formula yang atas ke yang bawah? This one. Ke this one?
Sama je dua-dua.
Sebenarnya lebih mudah yang atas sebab dia kata straightforward lah, just kata straightly you just can darab. Okay, tapi tak apalah, you rasa sama je dia dua, sama lah betul agaknya benda ni kan. Okay, saya terima. Right, so tak kisahlah mana-mana formula that you want to use. So berapa? What's the answer? The credit created based on the cash ratio. Cash ratio is actually 10%. So kalau nak guna formula total credit cash, the money multiplied, that means 1 over berapa? 1 over, kalau 10% convert jadi 0.1 lah kan. And then times with the initial loan. Berapa loan tadi? 9,000. So berapa you dapat?
90.
Yes, 90,000. That's actually the credit created. Maksudnya deposit cuma 10,000. Tetapi akhirnya dengan proses credit cash ni duit tu boleh tercipta sebanyak 90,000. That's how the power of the credit creation by bank ni kan, by commercial bank ni. Ingat, commercial bank je yang boleh buat, certain bank tak boleh buat. Okay, and then C, state any two assumption in the process of the credit creation and one limitations of the credit creation. Ini biasa soalan hujung tu dia akan minta you give lah at least one or two state the assumption and the limitation. Right, so here for the credit creation, okay tak okay? Faham tak untuk jawab soalan ni bagaimana? Is it straightforward? Soalan ni? Cepat-cepat. I need your response. I want to hear your response. What do you think? Soalan macam straightforward lah. Soalan macam tricky lah. So,
Okey je lah madam.
payah benar nak bagi pendapat you all ni. Cuba biasakan bila bagi pendapat tu bercakap tu panjang sikit, banyak sikit, ada input sikit. Kalau semua okey-okey je kot, biasa-biasa je kot. Betul, dalam Islam tu bagus, kita kena humble. Tetapi tak semua tempat dan keadaan kita kena humble. Especially dalam belajar tak boleh humble. Dalam belajar kita kena all out. Kita kena bagi apa yang kita tahu. Dan tak tahu kena tanya. Barulah belajar namanya. Okay. Terpulang. Saya tak boleh nampak asa. Okay. Hopefully you know. Because practice makes perfect. Kenapa kena practice? Kena all out dalam belajar. Sebab it's also actually will improve you punya confident level. Your speaking confident and so on. Kan? Okay. Tak apa. You ponder by yourself. Yeah. Right. So, by this and by today, I end here. Right, saya dah tunjuk dah bagaimana soalan pasir which is involved the money supply and which is involved with the credit question. Okay, so for next tutorial, alright, next tutorial kita proceed with the rest of the year and continue with all the question. Boleh? Okay semua? Ada soalan so far?
Boleh madam.
Okay, so insyaAllah kita jumpa next meeting. Okay, so kalau tak ada apa-apa, saya end sampai sini. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you madam.
Okay.
Waalaikumsalam, madam.
Ya, salam.